Welcome back to Secondhand Confessions. I'm Pugly.
I'm Mickey.
And we're back from our hiatus over the holidays.
We are so back.
We're back enough that we did not record an episode in time for Valentine's Day, but we really wanted to. So what are we doing here? Let's explain. Because we're doing this after Valentine's Day actually took place, we are calling this the Valentine's Day Postmortem.
Dun, dun, dun.
What does that mean, Nikki?
That was this is I think the first time I titled an episode.
You titled A Slice of Life as well.
Oh, okay. But all the other Genius titles are 100% Pugly.
Well, 20% AI.
Oh, you don't need to. That's the whole point of AI, is that you don't need to. You can just pretend it's yours.
Okay.
You're too ethical for this world. Anyway, so I felt like this was the move because, first of all, like Pugly said, we're putting it out after Valentine's Day. So it's after the death of Valentine's Day, if you will. But also Valentine's Day is not always good for everybody. No, for some. And during some times in people's lives, it is terrible, but that's okay. And we're here to talk about that.
Let's.
Should we start with a good, a bad, or an ugly?
I was thinking we start out with the bad and maybe go into something a little more wholesome.
All right, I'm ready.
So this first post is titled, "My wife threw out the flowers I got her for Valentine's Day. I destroyed her late husband's wedding ring and messed everything up."
Oh. It started off bad and then it got worse.
It did. Yeah, that's the trajectory.
I don't even need to talk about, let's just get into it.
I met my wife when we were 20. We've been together since shortly after we met. We got engaged at 26 and just got married last autumn. When I met her, she was a widow. She had known her late husband since infancy. Her mom babysat him, and they had been dating since 7th grade. Married at 18. He died in a car accident when they were 20, shortly before I met her. When we first started dating, she was still grieving his death. She would often have panic attacks and lock herself in the bathroom crying. I tried to be as understanding as I could when things like this happened. I tried to comfort her, but she would just ask for space. Over the years, this has lessened and lessened. She never brings him up anymore. Our first Valentine's Day, I got her chocolates and flowers. She accepted them and said she appreciated the gesture. But then she said she thinks Valentine's Day is just a stupid commercial holiday that she doesn't care for. I retorted that I think it's a sweet day where couples could profoundly express their love, and that I'd still like to celebrate it at least a little. After pressing it for a while, she admitted that she didn't want to celebrate it because she celebrated it with her late husband. It started with corny little Valentine's cards you make for your classmates in elementary school, to full-fledged romantic dinners. Then, eventually, they got married on Valentine's Day. We were freshly in the relationship, so I digressed and agreed no Valentine's Day, so I never attempted to celebrate it again. That brings us to this Valentine's Day. Man, I can feel my blood boiling typing this. It's our first Valentine's Day as a married couple. She never discusses him anymore, so I think, why not surprise her with some flowers after work? We've come so far over the years. Our relationship is near perfect. I love her beyond words. Nothing wrong with expressing that, right? Wrong. I bring home the flowers, a full-fledged $100 bouquet, and she loses her absolute shit. She said it's the one thing she's ever explicitly asked me not to do, and I couldn't even respect that. She grabs the flowers out of my hands, storms out of the apartment without even putting shoes on. I follow after her. She starts screaming at the top of her lungs and throws them in a dumpster. Her knees give out, and she shrinks down to the ground, crying like absolute crazy. I've never seen her this bad. I get down on the ground with her and hold her, profusely apologizing. She calms down. We go back up to our apartment. A few hours pass by as normal, and admittedly, I make maybe an even bigger mistake. She's on her computer doing some work. I ask her, "Do you still love him? Was I just a rebound?" I regret the words as soon as they come out. I wish I could take them back instantly. We haven't discussed him since the first year we were together, but I don't want to ignore the subject. It's killing me. I had to ask. No response. Nothing. At all. I get angrier. I know I shouldn't have, but I start yelling at her to answer me. She gets up. She starts packing up a duffel bag with clothes. I ask where she's going. Still nothing. She wouldn't even make eye contact with me. She takes off her engagement and wedding rings from our marriage and puts it on the nightstand. I lose it at this point. I feel out of my mind. I literally can't feel my body. It's like I'm watching myself from the third person. Her late husband was cremated, so she kept his wedding ring after he passed in a little box in her sock drawer. I grab the box and get a hammer. I start bashing the ring in and telling her that he's dead. I'm her husband now. I can't believe she's not over him. Awful stuff, I know. I don't know what I was thinking. She bawls for me to stop. I immediately stop. I realize what I had just done. I wasn't thinking. I couldn't have been. I would never do something like that, but I just did. And then she left. I begged her to stay as she walked out, but she didn't. I've tried contacting her 1,000,000 times since. Her phone is off? Or she blocked me? I don't know. I called her parents and close friends. No one knows where she is, or at least they won't tell me. I know I messed up. Is there anything I can do to fix this? Is my marriage over? I've never felt that kind of anger before. I've never been so vicious before. I don't know what came over me. Jealousy? Maybe. I don't know. I guess I can't really describe it. It just felt like everything I built with her was based on a rebound. If he hadn't died, they would probably be together, and I'm just holding his place now. She's always treated me with immense love, never compared me to him. She's the most hardworking, brave, sweetest woman I know. She's always encouraged me and pushed me to achieve my dreams, and supported me when I failed.
Oh my God. What a shit show. Jesus Christ.
So, where did he go wrong?
Where did he go right, I think, is the easier question to answer. He went right by marrying this woman. Like, obviously, she's a fucking angel.
Yeah.
It is rather difficult, I'm sure. I've never had this happen to me, but to be with someone whose partner has died, the person they thought would, like, be the love of their life forever. I can't imagine what that's like. I'm sure it's hard.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's hard to navigate, but it doesn't seem like they navigated it at all.
No, it seems like they just pushed past it and, like, ignored it.
Yeah. And, like, it is just as much on him to bring it up and talk about it as it is on her.
Yeah, to make it normalized and, like, accessible to her to have the conversation.
Yeah. And honestly, at this point, we don't know if she's processed his death or not, to be honest. Like, we don't know her side of the story. What he did when he brought her flowers and when she asked him not to, the reaction she had, it feels like it could go either way. It could be because she hasn't processed some parts of the death and the loss, or it could be because she was like, that's literally the only thing I asked him to do, like, or not to do. So we don't know why she had her dysregulation moment where she was, like, reacting and not thinking. But, like, I mean, throwing out $100 flowers that are gonna die anyway versus, like, literally smashing up a fucking wedding ring of someone's late husband.
I cannot even imagine. Like, where does that even enter your mind? Oh, this is a good idea. Let me fucking bash in a damn ring.
Yeah. Also, why do men think it's okay to be violent? Like, oh, I don't know what got into me. It's emotions.
It's always I wasn't thinking. No, you were thinking.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I don't. I mean, I think I know what he's thinking. Yeah. But, like, at the same time, like, he didn't regulate his emotions. He didn't regulate his actions at all. He was just like, I can do whatever I want because I deserve to, because I'm angry. And that's where a lot of men go wrong.
Yeah.
Also, a lot of women. I've seen a lot of women who don't know how to regulate their emotions. And, like, even I've been there where I'm like, I can just cry for however long because I deserve to, because I'm so upset. Or whatever, you know? But, like, that's, I don't know. I don't know.
That doesn't harm someone else, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, you crying doesn't really affect someone else. Whereas this,
I know,
destruction of property.
Yeah. And not just, like, any property, like irreplaceable property.
Yeah. Irreplaceable, sentimental.
Yeah.
Sorry. This cat that Mickey's taken in is playing around with the facilities.
Yeah. She's exploring. Oh, look at her jumping. It's like a jungle gym for her.
Well, so how would you respond if this was your husband?
Well, first of all, I would have talked about it more.
Talked about which part?
Like, my late husband. I'm a lot of people are, like, very into having boundaries with their spouse and, like, being like, there are some things you don't have to talk about. I'm like, what's the point of the spouse then? So I would have talked about it some more. It would have been painful. And it's kind of embarrassing, and the fact that you can be so vulnerable with someone it's a little bit scary because they can use that in future or whatever. But I would have done it. If he's the one, you need to tell him.
Yeah, you mentioned earlier that it may be hard to enter into a relationship where someone has a late spouse or late partner. And I agree with that. But at the same time, like, if they are showing that they had this deep, profound love for a previous partner, why would you not think that could apply to you too?
I know. And it seemed like it did. I mean, I think he was okay with it. Like, he was, nothing about it made him uneasy until like this. Or it seems like it, at least.
Yeah, but he did mention that she stopped talking about, like, he said she never, in all caps, brings him up anymore or something to that effect.
So it seemed to me like he was bringing that up to like make a point that, it's not my fault. I thought she was over him.
But I think maybe my point there is that it might be his fault, because maybe his insecurity was like so obvious to her that she felt like she couldn't bring it up with him anymore. She just felt, uncomfortable.
You are good at reading between the lines. I'm just kind of like, I take people as they are, and I get duped a lot, unfortunately. So maybe you're right.
There was a commenter who spoke to that aspect of things. They said, "My dad died on Christmas Eve when I was 15. It has overshadowed every Christmas since then, and I'm 36 now. My ex-husband told me on our first Christmas together that he didn't like to hear about my dad at that time because it made him sad, and he didn't want it affecting every Christmas we ever had together. So I stopped talking about him. And over the years, I stopped talking about all the other traumas I had suffered, because anytime I did, the conversation became about how it made my ex feel bad and uncomfortable. When we split up, I tried to explain that I never felt like I could talk to him about things, and he said I never brought them up. I told him about that conversation at that first Christmas, and he never remembered saying it to me. You are dangerous. You are entirely focused on your own comfort and appear to have no capacity to compromise. When asked to make any adjustments, you respond with manipulation and tantrums. Your sense of self is so fragile, you can't take any criticism without being defensive. As long as everything is going your way, it's fine. As soon as it doesn't, everyone else better watch out."
That is such a good perspective. I didn't even think about that. I did actually think about the whole Valentine's Day thing earlier when you were reading the story. I was like, why didn't he just make his own Valentine's Day that's in like July or something and like call it Love Day?
Yeah, I like that idea.
If he really cares that much about celebrating like a day for love, he could do that.
Yeah.
But he's so into like, well, I want to do it the way I want to do it, that he didn't even think to do that. That's how you know someone's like selfish. And I think that person is right, the commenter. They're this person is very selfish about this specific thing. I don't know how they are in other aspects of their life. Like maybe they're great in every other way. I have no idea. But at least in this way, like, he was not very understanding.
No.
And I'm sure like the person said, like, he did make comments that made his wife like stop talking about him. Because at first she was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was opening up about it. I like your idea of the Love Day, or whatever they want to call it, day. Just like, Relationship Appreciation Day, whatever. I agree with the comment that he's dangerous, though. Like, this, to me, is the bringing out the damn hammer.
Yeah, that's scary. When I hear these stories, I don't always take the time to visualize it, because I think I do that on purpose so that I don't have to think about it.
Yeah.
But that is scary.
A hammer is a serious weapon.
Yeah. And then he's like, I don't know what I was thinking. So in the future, could you point it towards a person and then be like, I don't know what I was thinking?
Oops, sorry. Whoops.
Yeah. I would love to hear more from her.
Well, there is an update from him.
Okay.
Are you interested in that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure. Fine, I guess.
He said, her brother called me and let me know she's safe and staying with a family member, but won't specify where. He asked if he could come pick up some more of her stuff, including the destroyed ring. He specifically asked I not throw it away or further tarnish it from our place without her. I reluctantly agreed. I really want to see her, but I understand why I can't right now. She hasn't texted me back or called me herself. I'm starting to think she won't be anytime soon. And according to everyone here, I have no one to blame but myself. What do you mean, according to everyone here? What? Excuse me, sir?
Yeah.
Excuse me, bitch?
Excuse me, bitch.
Not sure if I'll keep replying to comments. It's taking a toll on me, but I'm still reading all of them. Some are hard to read, but I appreciate them anyway. I guess I'm an asshole, but it's hard to live in the shadow of a ghost. I just wanted to celebrate Valentine's Day so I could show her how much I love and appreciate her. Things got out of hand. Some of my comments on here were out of anger, and I'm sorry for that. I love my wife, despite what people here think, and I won't stop fighting for her. There was another update as well following that one. He said, never mind, I was wrong. She texted me back shortly after her brother called. In quotes, he says, "The next time you see me, there will be a lawyer and divorce papers. I'm scared of you now. Please stop contacting me and my family, and if you come anywhere near me, I'm calling the cops." Verbatim. So, I guess that's that. I guess I underestimated the severity of what I did. I guess it isn't as black and white as I thought. I knew I messed up. I just didn't think it was this bad. I'm floored. Devastated. I hope she just texted that out of anger and that she'll come around. Part of me is so angry I want to throw out his ring entirely, and her engagement/wedding ring from our marriage too. It's hard to imagine she actually wants to leave me. For now, whiskey it is. Good coping mechanisms here.
Yeah, wow.
Love to see it.
Yeah. Whiskey it is. Like, I do like to see that he's acknowledging he was wrong. Like, he knows it was much worse than he thought. I hope this is a wake-up moment for him.
The amount of surprise, though, is...
Listen, people are fucked up and then they change. And that's the only... If you don't believe that, you can't... Like, there's no way you can believe in people being good. I think it helps people become better if you support them to be better. I'm not saying she has to stay there.
No, absolutely not.
But I think... Obviously, you don't want to feed into his ego and be like, wow, you're so amazing for having realized you're a terrible person and now you're going to become better. No, that's not what it is. But you do have to acknowledge, like, hey, good on you for acknowledging this. The consequences of your actions are yours to deal with. Mm-hmm. Like, you're getting what you deserve. Be better from now on. That's the only way that someone can get better, I think. You know, if they hear that at least, or if they see that feedback, because otherwise it's like,
you're speaking from a friend perspective or some other outsider kind of situation here. But
yeah, I'm not saying she has to tell him this.
As you mentioned earlier, I agree with that assessment. She is not under any obligation to this man.
She should never look at him again. Like, she should get as far away as possible from him. Mm-hmm. But I think that, like, we do have to acknowledge it's a good thing he's acknowledging that he did some messed up stuff. But it's funny how, like, what did he say? He was like, part of me is so angry that I want to throw out the ring. Like, that's what is happening, buddy. Like, you haven't really fully acknowledged it yet.
Yeah, that was the part where I'm like, this is kind of the mentality that mostly men who, I don't know if I've ever heard of a woman doing this, but men who take the lives of their family and then themselves of, if you don't have me, then you don't have anybody, you know? Like, that kind of bullshit. No, we do not tolerate that shit here.
Yeah.
At Secondhand Confessions.
Yeah. No, anger is a scary emotion because it can, like, other emotions obviously can cause you to react and act in stupid ways too, but anger specifically can cause you to act out in violence. So, like, I think that's why we're so cautious of anger, but it is a normal human emotion. We just have to teach people like this to, like, when you have feelings of anger,
channel it appropriately.
So I just think it's funny that he's starting to acknowledge he has issues, but he's not fully there because he's like, I'm so angry that I could throw it away. And it's like, okay, why are you taking it out on her again? Mm-hmm. You have to reflect fully, like, not just like, oh, I did something bad. No, you do bad things. You've been doing bad things. This is like a habit of yours. Mm-hmm. That's where he needs to get to. But
yeah, it's almost like he's like, the message that I'm sending myself as what he's saying to himself is like, oh, something bad happened to me. Not something bad happened because of me.
Yeah. You're right. Absolutely. Yeah. He's seeing himself as the victim here.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's honestly, as someone who's, like, recently started exploring that side of myself of, like, I fucked up and I only have me to blame. That is something that's very hard to realize. It's very hard to realize. It's very hard to come to terms with. It throws your whole ego out the window. Mm-hmm. And it's very humbling and you kind of start feeling really small, but it's the only way you can grow. Because if you're a victim for the rest of your life, you will never grow. I like how you knew you needed to burp and you got closer to the mic.
Did I? I thought I stayed at the same distance.
No, you literally were like...
Oops. Sorry.
It's okay.
Alcohol does some strange things to the mind.
Oh, does it? Are you drinking?
We do condone alcohol here on Secondhand Confessions.
I don't condone it.
Okay, it's partially condoned.
Anyway, so what is the last update?
The final update was, okay, actual last update after I left her multiple voicemails and texts after her last text. She sent me back one text. Here it is. In quotes, I love you. I wanted to spend the rest of my life with you, but it's become clear you can't accept the life I had before you. I learned how to love because of him, and because of that, I was able to love you as long and as much as I did. In a way, you're right. I wasn't ready to get into a relationship when we did, but we did, and we were in deep. I wasn't ready, but I didn't want to lose you because it was the wrong timing. And we built an amazing life together, or so I thought. What you did is unforgivable. I would have rather you hit me with the hammer and leave the ring intact. I got rid of all my photos with him because you didn't want it in our home. That ring was all I had left. Please do not get rid of it. Keep the apartment, keep the car, keep anything you want of ours. I will tell any lawyer I want the bare minimum, but that ring is mine. If you ever cared about me, let me just have it back so I can get it fixed. We're not coming back from this, I'm sorry. I hope you'll heal from this, but there's nothing you can say or do to undo the damage here. What's done is done. Take care of yourself. Legal proceedings are the only thing in our future, and I'm sorry that that has to be the case, but I'm done.
Wow.
Eat shit.
She's like, please don't throw away the ring. Like, literally.
I mean, to say that in the same message as we're done is pretty ballsy.
Yeah. Like, I commend her for her putting down the boundary, but at the same time being like
firm.
Yeah. And I liked when she was like, if you ever cared about me, you wouldn't throw out the ring.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's such a like
incentive.
It's such an incentive because he like, even if he like doesn't care about her at all, he's gonna like keep it just to be like, see, I care about you.
Keep up appearances.
Mm-hmm,
yeah.
Mm-hmm. So very good strategy on her part. Whoever helped her draft that text up, good on you.
There was another comment on this one. They said before the texts were revealed from the wife, your marriage is certainly over. It's not just Valentine's Day. She literally got married to her childhood sweetheart on that day. He's not an ex. He's her late husband who died tragically. If you don't respect that, you don't respect her. It's perfectly possible to love more than one person in your lifetime, but I'm not so sure it's possible to love someone who has done what you've done.
Woof.
Damn.
No, I mean, she loves him. They can't say that.
Well,
she still loves him, but she can't be with him.
She can't be with him.
That's not a nice message.
Unforgivable.
No, that's not a nice message.
It was unforgivable.
It was unforgivable, but like, I don't think it's possible to love someone like you. Like, okay. Okay.
So you don't think you should say to anyone that they're unlovable?
Yeah. No, I don't think that's very nice.
That is what we call in the biz a core belief.
What? Which,
I'm unlovable.
Oh.
In depression, it's
Oh.
often manifests.
I'm very lovable, so I guess I've never been depressed. But I think like
that's not the only core belief.
Oh. This third party person is like so invested that they're like, you don't deserve to be loved. Like, okay, chill out. Like, obviously this guy is terrible.
Well, I don't think she needs to love him anymore.
Oh yeah, she doesn't need to love him.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, just say this is unforgivable. Exactly what she, like, but don't say you're unlovable. That's weird. People love each other every single day. People love their murderous sons and daughters. People love their abusers. People love their presidents who are terrible people. People like people you like forgive and forget and don't even people don't care about the same things you care about.
I mean, if there was physical trauma where a head injury occurred, then maybe forgetting is possible. But beyond that, I can't see it.
You're such a nerd.
Anyways, I do have another story that pertains to this one, and it does get a little more at the autopsy / what did we call it?
We called it postmortem.
Oh, postmortem.
Of course you don't remember.
Aspect of this. I forget that word for some reason.
I love that word.
Speaking of physical trauma that causes forgetting.
Did you?
I just forgot the word postmortem.
Have physical trauma? No.
It was just a slip.
By the way,
slip of the mind.
You can probably edit this out, but I was reading some of our old texts earlier because I was searching for some eye drops in my messages. I couldn't find them. I misspelled eye drop, whatever. So, but it showed me one of our old texts, and one of them was like, you were like, before I go to bed, I just want to say the post office is another way to communicate.
Oh my God. Okay, let's get back into it. Anyways, so this ties in to the story that we just read, and you'll understand why in just a minute. Are you ready for it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this one's titled, My Wife Got Sick and Couldn't Visit Her Late Husband's Grave for His Death Anniversary, so I went and visited instead.
Nice.
All right, this is posted in True Off My Chest in October of 2022.
Oh God, did he piss on the grave?
Are you ready for it?
Oh my God, I've never predicted a story. Okay, go ahead.
He passed away from cancer 4 years ago.
Aww.
My wife and I have been together for 2 years, married for 6 months. Every year, she'd visit his grave and leave flowers on it. It only takes 30 minutes or so for her to visit him and remember him and pay her respects. I never asked to go with her, but this year she got sick for a few days and couldn't go visit him on his anniversary and do the things she'd normally do. So what I did was purchase some flowers and drive to the cemetery and leave the flowers there and take a picture after, praying, and then I went home. In the evening, my wife seemed sad and distant. I asked her what the matter was, and she ranted to me about how she couldn't visit her late husband on his 4th anniversary. She said that it felt wrong for her to miss one of the very few visits to his grave like this, to express her heartfelt gratitude for him. I told her that I already took care of that and showed her the picture I took of his grave with flowers on it. She couldn't believe it at first and started apologizing, saying I didn't have to do this, but I reassured her that her late husband was a good man to both of us, and although I never met him, he helped her while she struggled with health issues. And if it wasn't for him, she might not have been here with me today.
Aww.
And so I have all the respect for him, and visiting and bringing flowers is the least I could do to express both my wife's and my gratitude for what he had done. For some reason, she started crying, and I stepped out to give her some space. Next morning, she was more energetic and cheerful. I'm happy to see, as if she had a heavy weight lifted off her shoulders, and I hope that she can see that she doesn't have to be apologetic for remembering her late husband or mentioning him in front of me. I'd want for her to open up to me more about him and share her grief with me, though I get she needs to have her own moments sometimes, but I just want her to understand that she's not doing anything wrong.
Oh my God, that's the post? That's so cute.
That's it, yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna cry.
I know, I did, I think, get a little tearful when I first read this.
Oh, that was so sweet. I feel so bad that I was waiting for something horrible.
Yeah, well, it's read it for you.
Oh, like off my chest. What do you mean? He's bragging. He's looking for another wife.
Wow, we have to attribute good intentions to people. People can be good.
No, it's hard to hear good things sometimes.
Yeah.
No, that's so sweet. That's like literally...
That is sweet. And the fact that he's like, him thinking like, that this man like contributed to the way that she loves me now, like, it's like the way that you need to go about this kind of relationship when you're with a widow or a widower. Yeah,
so true. And he was like, he was good to the both of us when he said that, and then he was like, I never met him, but he was good to... Oh my God. Like, so cute.
Yeah, that's
That's very precious, and that he's a good man, Savannah. He's a good man.
Someone said, it looks like your wife got lucky twice.
Aw, good for her.
OP responded, thank you, it's true. Her late husband was a great man, and it makes me happy to be seen as equal to him after all he had done for my wife and family. May he rest in peace. Such a sweet man.
I'm literally gonna cry now.
Like, it's such a rarity that we come across something so just genuinely nice.
Yeah, I think like both men and women, I think to be that kind in a relationship, you have to be willing to give yourself over 100%. And that is so hard for a lot of people to do. A lot of people let things get in the way of being that good in a relationship because they're like, oh, if I do this, then she'll still love her husband forever. No, you are being kind to her, and that is the person she wants to be married to.
Remember the Pretty Woman episode that we did? Where she was seeing a man who was a widow
Yeah. Oh, and we were like, this was with Poppy. Poppy was here. Hi, Poppy.
Hi, Poppy.
We were talking about how like him having genuinely loved his wife was a good sign. Because obviously
healthy relationships are possible with this man is what our conclusion was.
Yeah. And she like, it was like they were navigating like, is it okay if I move the clothes into a different room? Yeah. I mean, it's hard. It's very difficult. Obviously, grief is hard. Grief stays with you forever. But you do have to move on. You have to at least try.
But moving on doesn't mean that you have to ignore their,
No.
existence.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is, I think it's, honestly, I think that's why breakups are hard, because you have to kind of ignore their existence.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. It's a different form of grief, I guess.
It is a different form of grief. It's a kind of grief where it's a bit more taboo to bring them up.
Yeah.
It's like, well, you could literally go be with them right now. Like, they're still alive out there.
Oh, right.
Versus like someone who passed away.
Right.
You should have some security that they can't leave you for that person. I mean, they can leave you for the thought of that person, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. They can fantasize about that person more.
Mm-hmm.
We have a couple options for our final story here, so I'm going to give them to you and you'd let me know what your preference is. Okay?
Gotcha.
So we have, am I the asshole for not punishing my 7-year-old daughter for her play relationships?
Mm-hmm.
We have, am I the asshole for sending carnations to my work wife?
Ooh, that one's juicy.
And am I the asshole for sending my girlfriend too many Valentine's Day flowers and making her sister's husbands look bad?
Oh man, I
Your
can't
eyes.
decide. I can't decide between the second and third one. I kind of want to do the work wife one. Sorry.
I like that one. Good
Yeah.
choice.
Okay.
So am I the asshole for sending carnations to my work wife? This was in the Am I the Asshole subreddit, and I'll let you know the verdict later after we've decided.
Gotcha.
What do you think just hearing that?
He sent flowers?
It's carnations specifically.
Okay, so it depends. Is it a thing they do in the office? If so, then maybe not.
Okay.
And also, no, just the fact that you have a work wife. Are you married? Is she married? Like, all these things matter. Yeah, I need context.
Okay. We all have best friends at work, and mine happens to be a woman. No big deal, right? Well, to my girlfriend it is. The woman in question and I are pretty close as the result of working next to each other for the past year. We joke that we're work spouses, but nothing goes beyond that except for the occasional good morning text. Long story short, she and I were talking about Valentine's Day, and she mentioned how in high school she never got sent a carnation. This surprised me because she's dead ass a 10. I told her...
What?
Yeah.
Deadass, a 10.
Yep. I told her how I only ever got white ones sent, symbolizing friendship, which was fucking embarrassing, and we both bonded over the disappointments and joked that being work spouses, maybe we could get each other flowers this year. I decided to take her up on this, in an appropriate manner, by sending her a bouquet of white carnations in the mail to express my appreciation of her and her friendship. Nothing more. But the thing is, I forgot to change the delivery date to a week later on a day my girlfriend wasn't home, and they got delivered today. Picking a day my girlfriend wasn't home is not an admission of guilt. I just knew she would overreact because she's emotional and almost unbearably insecure at times.
Oh, God.
So yeah, they came to my house, and my girlfriend answered the door and was so happy until she read the tag and saw that it wasn't her name. I told her why I'd gotten them for my work friend, and she started crying. I explained the story behind it and how white was platonic. I also told my girlfriend that I had super romantic plans for Valentine's Day for her and red roses, but I can't get through to her. She said it's quote-unquote emotional cheating, which I disagree with, and all these other buzzwords chicks throw out on Twitter, and I can't help but think she's blowing it way out of proportion. Me and my work friend have never done anything, and I'm a dedicated boyfriend, but apparently one kind and thoughtful gesture to another woman makes me a monster? I'm pretty sure my relationship is over unless I apologize and admit I was wrong, but I also feel like this is a matter of principle and that I'm the victim here. Is she just being irrational, or am I being short-sighted?
So many situations in life, like conflicts between people, are so much more nuanced than I am the victim. And if people were to just stop and be like, what really happened here? Why didn't you tell your girlfriend about it?
Mm-hmm. It's not an admission of guilt.
Yeah, like, yes, it is. Yes, it is. If you can't talk to your girlfriend about this kind of stuff and it's truly platonic, like truly, truly, then you shouldn't be together.
Mm-hmm.
That's not the right person for you. Yeah.
It's done.
It's done.
The deed is done.
The deed is done. No, like, you should not be together if you can't. Oh, and all those buzzwords that chicks say, get off this planet, man.
And the dead ass a 10.
Walk off the planet. walk to the edge and jump off.
Yeah, walk the plank, bud.
Walk the plank, because what the fuck?
Actually, run the plank.
Speed run the plank. Yeah, no, this guy is like, he's not mature enough for a relationship, I don't think. No.
Yeah.
I think it's as a way of cheating. I do think it's a form of cheating, unless your partner is cool with it, and he didn't do that.
Yeah.
So it's cheating.
And according to him, she just overreacts and is unbearably insecure.
Unbearably. If your partner's insecure, cool. They need to work on it, of course.
If they're unbearably insecure, then don't bear it.
Don't bear it.
You can't bear it?
Don't bear it.
Yep. He edits and says, "They were white flowers. Calm the fuck down. I regret posting here." Wow. What a man-child.
Because he got eaten alive.
Yep, probably. You want to know
Oh
what
my
the
God.
comments said?
That he's an asshole.
Well, that was the verdict. Yes,
Okay.
the verdict was asshole.
Yeah.
Striking Firefly posted, "This is what I feel like I just read." In quotes, "I regularly flirt with an extremely hot woman at work. My girlfriend doesn't feel great about this. Isn't she just so annoying and insecure? Tell me I'm a victim here and should not be expected to be considerate of the feelings of someone I've chosen to date. You're the asshole, dude."
Yep, he is the asshole.
Agreeable Asparagus says, "You're the asshole," and a dead ass 0.
Dead ass, you're a 0.
Yep. Agreed. Couldn't agree more. I love that hiccup.
Thanks.
Yeah, it's a
feature.
classic one.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Main character.
Anarchy Shift says, "You're the asshole. Let me list everything you've done." Wrong.
Let me list everything you've done.
Wrong. 1, you call your coworker a 10, but not your girlfriend. Is your coworker hotter than your girlfriend? It's fine to find other people attractive, but it's totally unnecessary information to include in this post. 2, you hid the flowers from your girlfriend because you knew she would overreact. Bull. Someone who wasn't guilty would be open about asking their partner if it was okay to send a platonic gift to a coworker. 3, you wanted to send these on Valentine's Day. You basically decided to get 2 sets of flowers for 2 different women on a day that is meant for couples. You are teetering on the edge and looking for validation online. Your girlfriend is right. Her buzzword hits the nail on the head.
So true.
So true. We did not do that synchronously at all.
Yeah, that was my fault.
That's okay. You're a little delayed.
Wow. So Valentine's Day can be cruel
And a bummer.
but it also can be very fab.
Although the story that was fab wasn't on Valentine's Day.
Oh.
It was on the anniversary of the death. Of the
You
man.
tricked me.
I just thought it tied in well to
It did. It
so
did.
it's more of the postmortem,
It did.
relevancy than
So what you're saying is Valentine's Day sucks.
pretty much.
No, if I was going to say, if you're in a relationship and it's like maybe not the right one, you start having really high expectations of like Valentine's Day because like you want it to make up for the rest of the year.
But let's just agree that one day a year is not what it takes to have a healthy relationship.
Absolutely. I don't, if your partner is only showing up for you Valentine's Day or just like holidays in general, but they're not there for you the rest of the year, you are in the wrong relationship. It's a lesson we all have to learn.
Does it matter that the carnations were white?
I don't think in this context. I think if he had told his girlfriend, it would matter.
Like if he had said in advance, like, I'm going to send some white carnations to my friend at work who is just a friend, and that's what the white carnations symbolize.
Yeah, like if he had told her like, hey, I'm thinking about doing this because, you know, she's my friend and I feel, you know, she told me she never got flowers on Valentine's. Like, do you think that's appropriate? I want to pick your brain.
That reminds me, one time my gym teacher in elementary school said to one of her coworkers, it wasn't even me, I was just sitting on the ground at the time. She told them that for Easter, her brother used to bite the ears off her bunnies, her chocolate bunnies. And so I brought her a chocolate Easter bunny one time.
Lesbo.
I think she might have been the gym teacher.
I was not referring to her.
The recipient and the giver were both lesbians.
I want to know what she looked like.
She wasn't attractive. She was old.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. What was your motivation here?
I was just trying to be nice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a romantic gesture.
No, I know. As a child, you can't have a romantic gesture. You're a child.
I mean, I liked people in elementary school.
I know, but
We've discussed that.
You don't know what romance is as a child.
Right.
So
but that was romantic, though. She probably got more chocolate bunnies from me than she did from any partner she ever had.
Hey, if you're out there.
Miss.
Well, so what was we started off ending it, but we forgot to end it.
The takeaway, how does it relate to Valentine's Day? If your person isn't doing more than I did as a 7-year-old child, then they're not your person.
Yeah.
Get yourself a better person.
Get yourself a better person. Assess your relationship. You deserve the best, honey. Like, you deserve the best.
Mm-hmm.
Serious. You don't suffer. Do not suffer in this life just to be in a relationship. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. And there's a kind person out there waiting for you to get out there and be with them. And what are you waiting for? Romance is hard work. Go put in the effort.
All right.
Thank you, listeners.
Thanks, listeners. Bye from Bye from Pugly.
Bye from Mickey.